Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. My name is Russ Jeffery from Duda, and I'm really happy to be joined by Jeremy from WooRank. Jeremy, do you want to just introduce yourselves or get yourself and give a little background?
Yeah, hey everybody. So excited to be here. Jeremy LaDuque with WooRank. We're owned by a parent company called Bridgeline, and we focus on everything from driving traffic to your site through an SEO analytics tool like WooRank to conversion as well. But we're so excited, Russ. I mean, we've been working, as shoulder to shoulder on getting this thing live, all through the second half of last year. And you guys have been great to work with, everybody. And we're super, super stoked to be live finally.
Yeah, us as well. We're gonna wait just a few minutes to get started, guys. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear kind of where you guys are from. Hey, Tim, good to see you. I'm here in sunny Palo Alto, California, in our office. Jeremy, you're down in Santa Monica, right?
San Luis,
San
much closer than Santa Monica.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I got my Duda coffee cup for our meeting. So
Oh, that's right. Nice. Let's do to this.
yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're 3 hours apart here in California. We got London, Cincinnati. That's great.
great.
Pennsylvania.
Poconos.
Love it.
Wow. New Orleans.
I
Welcome,
love it.
everybody.
I need to get back to New Orleans.
I miss it. It's an incredible town. Incredible town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy, I'm curious what you think of the recent news of Chat GPT being in Bing. It's for me, it's a super interesting time to be in kind of the search space and web space. Things are changing so quickly right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all really, I mean, search period is exciting. I mean, Google's doing amazing things. So is Bing, but I don't know about you. I've been using, like stuff like Google Lens, and checking
Mhm.
that out. And now with Bing, using AI. What I love is just focusing on this experience alone. I mean, Bing really did change the game because you really do have like an assistant, right? The assistant part, doesn't go away when you do the search, which is fascinating, right? Because basically you do the search and there's an assistant there actually helping you refine the search. So
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, I think it's gonna change the game. It's I don't know if I don't think it's gonna fully replace the traditional search that we have, but I think it's just providing that next level of power and influence and kind of direction of where people want to interact with these tools. And so I think it'll be really interesting to see who's going to come and win the space and how it's going to be won. And I don't 100% agree that this is Google's downfall. I think Google is going to be able to really find the right solution here. But I'm really interested to watch and see what happens here because no one really knows what's going to happen. Yeah,
No, we're gonna see some quantum leaps here for sure. So,
yeah,
I mean, we're here to build websites and get them ranked, right? I mean, that's actually
absolutely.
what we're here to talk about today, and
Yeah,
we're talking about the tools that actually, everybody's going to start using to do that. It makes sense. We have to advance in this way though, because there's just so much content on the web. I
yep.
mean, you need further assistance to
You
find
need
what
the
you're looking
summarization. Yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. It's true, and I think we'll start learning about AIEO, right? AI engine optimization instead of SEO. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, yeah. Davis is asking, how do we get a Duda coffee cup? Good question. I don't even know how. I work here. Yeah,
I had to fly to Denver to get it, so.
yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and jump in on our topic today. What we're gonna cover today is this new integration that Duda launched about 3 weeks ago with WooRank. Um, and the way we're gonna run this is Jeremy's gonna give just a little bit of an overview of who's WooRank, kind of what's the tool, just a little bit of background on how it works. I'm gonna jump in and give a demo of the integration and kind of cover kind of the key touch points and key values that are there. Jeremy has a few extra slides of just kind of like how we see agencies and web professionals leveraging this today. And we will have plenty of time for Q&A and questions. So please feel free to ask those questions along the way. If there's something that's not clear, if you want to learn more, please go ahead and get to them, and I promise we'll get to the majority, if not all, of those questions during this time today. So I think with that being said, Jeremy, let's have you jump in and kind of share your screen, or show your presentation for a little bit, and then I'll jump in and give a demo.
Great. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. So, well, to start out, I want to make sure everybody understands. We met Duda almost a year ago now, and started talking about how great would it be to put WooRank inside of Duda, right? WooRank had already been around for 9 years at the time, so 10 years now. So it's an app that has really gone out there and indexed a lot of websites. So we've got a lot of experience under our belt looking at websites and understanding them. So we have indexed over 50 million websites worldwide. So by the time we met with Russ, almost a year ago, it was a tool that was already being used by small businesses, mid-sized businesses, some enterprises, and a lot of agencies. And the conversation was, okay, how do we take this great tool, but make it work for Duda? And that's what we spent the last half of last year doing, was taking this tool that understands how to look at a website and come up with an analysis of that website from an SEO standpoint, but know Duda as well, so that the recommendations are relevant to your website in Duda. So the three things we're going to look at here as Russ jumps into the demo is, the first component of WooRank is that it's going to perform an SEO audit on the website. It's going to start with the home page, and then you actually have the capability of running audits on further pages within the website. But we're going to start on the home page, and we're going to look at that home page, and we're going to rank the page and give it a score as to how did it do on a score of 0 to 100. And you're going to see some of these numbers as we jump in there. And it's doing that across around 75 different attributes that we look at. And we're going to look at some of those attributes. So that's what we're doing, is we're analyzing the site itself, the web pages, and we're analyzing it against attributes that are all about SEO. From there, if we look to the middle column here, we then can monitor the website over time, right? Because things change, just like what we were talking about. The whole world just shifted, with Bing. And so we're going to analyze that site over time and make sure that it remains in good standing, with the search engines, and that nothing's going wrong on that site. And in addition to that, we've added core web vitals monitoring, which is different than what I just explained in terms of an audit. An audit is looking at the page itself. We can talk about this a little bit more, Russ, but the core web vitals is looking at the experience somebody is having on your website. So that's a little bit different. And then third, we've got some great extra tools in there, right? Because if you're already in there and you're looking at the SEO on your website, then you certainly care about keywords, and you certainly care about your competitors, right? So we have that as well in the tool, where you can do some keyword ranking and tracking, and you can compare your website to some competitors.
That's great, Jeremy. I think originally what most excited me about kind of WooRank was the fact that we could have it in the editor, in the dashboard, inside, and giving real context in real time. That was kind of one of the key things from the Duda perspective of we want to try and help agencies build faster and be more efficient as they're building, and having that context directly as they're building was one of the main things. So great. So shall we jump into a demo here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Great. And I have just a regular Duda website set up here. It's just one of our templates as a starting point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and just install WooRank from the App Store. I'll go ahead and choose just the gold plan, so we get a few more of the features that we can show and demo, and we'll go ahead and install and activate this. And what's going to happen here is WooRank is actually just going to automatically inject their tool directly into the site itself. So actually, I can just close this now. That's what this is prompting me to do. And we'll actually see the WooRank option to audit a web page directly inside of the Duda editor. So I can start doing that audit, and it's going to give me those actionable on-page SEO recommendations directly from the context of the editor. Now, what we've done in partnership with WooRank here is we've made this so it's not actually every single audit that WooRank might perform. We're doing for things that are just inside of the editor that matter here, that you can take action on inside of the platform. So in this case, WooRank has given me, a report back. You can actually see on this report that I have one is some errors that have shown up, some things that are improved, and there's also obviously a full report of things that WooRank audited for across the board. So I can now go and say, okay, great, let's go and actually fix some of these errors. So in this case, it's saying, great, I have a meta description. We can actually go and fix that from the pages and say, great, I'm going to go and fix my meta description in the SEO settings and write great page description.
And this is kind of use case one here, right? We're in an editor this page does not even have to be published live. And in this case, obviously, even if it were a live page, we're making adjustments to it, analyzing it, and republishing it.
Yeah, exactly. And then once I've made that change, I can just ask WooRank to recrawl, that page, and they'll actually discover, hey, look, you've fixed the description on the site itself. You see I have one less error. Previously I had 8, now I have 7 as part of the audit that WooRank is doing. So that option is now kind of removed from the list of errors that are available. So you can go through and see each one of these, and each one of these can then go and be fixed from the platform itself, whether it's alt attributes missing on images or underscores in the URLs, whatever it might be, that's not available. You can just go and fix and do as part of your normal site build, and this can be done on any page of the website directly. So I can go to the journal page and just kind of perform that same audit and start a new scan if I would like to, very easily. Now, the second part of this is the full audit that actually happens. So if I actually republish the website, I can actually go and look on the live version of the site itself, and I'm actually going to get a more complete audit. Because I've logged into WooRank, when I visit my live site, I'm actually going to see the WooRank assistant here on the live site, and you'll actually see a more comprehensive full report that audits the entire website. This looks at things that previously weren't available in the editor, like, do you have that SSL certificate created? Are the URLs fully, resolving correctly? Have I set up, DMARC, which is security related items? You can go through the full report and discover what those errors are and what they might be, and then obviously go and fix those. So there's 2 different audits that are really taking place, just depending on if this is the live version or is this the in editor or version of the website itself.
Yeah, and you're seeing here, I've mentioned there's about 75 different attributes. You're seeing some of those here. We're not seeing all of them here.
Yep.
And the great thing is those are attributes, again, that we have created and come to track over the course of our 10-year history. But with Russ and team, we have also looked at those and said, yeah, but does that one there make sense to a Duda website? And we've made some adjustments there. So there are, as everybody probably knows, there are other SEO auditing tools out there, but they don't understand the Duda site. So you may have to sift through attributes, and it may take you an hour to realize, oh, I can't do anything about that, or that's not relevant to me. And we've done all that work here, and we continue to do this work actually.
Yep.
As we've gone live, in real time. I mean, we still meet every week as teams and make sure, okay, do these attributes make sense? And is this report as optimized as it can be for a Duda website? Because that's really what, one of the goals we want out of this is to improve efficiency for your agency partners, right? To have a report that is, like you mentioned, actionable, but also just very relevant, to a Duda site.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And, just a few of the other things that we can look at here, right? So we can go and look at Core Web Vitals if we want to. This site was just published, so we don't have, Core Web Vitals metrics that have come in, but these are real world Core Web Vitals metrics, which are what actually Google, uses, are real world. They're not lighthouse scores or, kind of lab scores. These are things that real visitors to the website are going to experience. That's the actual what's there. So once, WooRank starts processing this, you'll actually see Core Web Vitals. And this is data that's actually really hard to get from Google. Google won't actually show that you have Core Web Vitals data unless you have something like 1,000 visitors a month coming to the website. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And people ask us all the time, like, is that Google's Core Web Vitals? You're just repurposing, but no, we actually, the WooRank Core Web Vitals report is a report that we built from the ground up using mostly field data, but some lab data too. But to your point, Russ, we don't need 1,000 visitors to a site a month to actually produce this. We actually technically need one visitor. Yeah. So the data would be great with one visitor, but technically this will start producing data when you start getting a few visitors to the site.
Yeah, which is great. Okay, cool. So what I've shown you guys now is just kind of the on-site or on-page auditing aspect of WooRank. As you can see, there's one in the editor. There's the full live site version of this. Then kind of the last part, which Jeremy mentioned as well, is kind of the full backend dashboard of WooRank here. So if I go back into the App Store and I open WooRank, we can go right into the project dashboard. We can actually see all the other kind of capabilities that I might want to perform on within WooRank directly there. So if I want to go and look at those page reviews, right? If you remember, I had scanned the homepage. We can see that homepage review. We can see those same Core Web Vitals metrics we were just talking about. And finally, we can also start tracking keywords as well and kind of doing some, both tracking my own progress as a website and also kind of competitors if we wanted to see how and where they're ranking, across around the world, right? So if I, as an example, put in, SEO agency here, we're going to go ahead and see, a bunch of results show up here across the board. That's right.
This will take some time to aggregate, but more data, will start to appear here.
Yeah.
I want to point out, like, if you could go back to the dashboard, to me, there's a shift. There's a real shift that happened here, though, right? Whereas when we were in the editor, I kind of look at that as like, developer mentality. Like, I'm editing a web page. I'm moving quickly. I've got a lot of things on my mind. I can run a quick scan to make sure I didn't forget a bunch of SEO stuff. And we all know that happens, right? We're moving along, and I can technically publish this page right now without some of the SEO attributes, but the scan forces you to run that audit to say, no, you missed 8 things, and they're all relevant to SEO, so let's go fix them. Here, though, we kind of shifted into a more of an ongoing SEO mentality, right? We're looking at, this chart here is this chart is actually going to start to analyze this website every day and put it on a chart so that you can go in and make it. So this chart over time, by next week, you'll have a week's worth of data here telling you where is that, going up, going down. And we, as as we have started to engage with Duda agencies, and it's been a lot of fun, actually. They get in there, they get the report, they go fix those things, and they literally, all their graphs are shooting up. So that's been fun to watch. But again, the mentality here to me is we've kind of shifted into more of a long-term, I'm now thinking of a long-term SEO strategy for this website, right? I'm going to watch it score over time. I can go to page views and I can actually start digging into more web pages in the site.
Yep.
Go to page views for me there. Like there's now I mentioned we're going to hit the homepage first, but I could also, depending on which account, you'll be given a number of internal pages. So you could pop any internal page and also start analyzing those pages too. And then same with the keyword, now we're digging deeper into SEO. We're thinking about it more long-term. We're thinking about what keywords should we be populating on the site. This, by the way, is the full report. Russ, you kept mentioning like this is only partial. This is the full report. And those are all the major categories across all those attributes we've been talking about.
Right. Yeah, across mobile, structured data for schema. That's great.
Yeah, and you could spend some time in here. So, but yeah, no, I mean, like I said, the app itself is more of your, SEO strategist coming in and saying, we need to understand the keywords around this site. The keyword tool is actually pretty neat too, because not only can you track keywords, like Russ popped in there a keyword. Once WooRank starts to gather data on these keywords, it'll actually start telling you where you rank, how you compare to your competitors and how they rank. And it also start telling you what other keywords are people typing in that are relevant to these keywords. Can you find some other nuggets, and what other what else is showing up in these keyword when somebody types that in these local packs. And that's nice, again, from a strategy standpoint, right? Because you can then say, oh, well, you know what, that is a great keyword. And I didn't think of that. And I don't have it anywhere on my website. So I'm actually going to pop over to a web page and start putting that keyword in my web page so I can start optimizing for that keyword.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like a great example might just be great. Like let's just say I'm running, dry cleaners in, Chicago. That might be a keyword that I start tracking, but I also might want to do eco-friendly dry cleaning. It might be another keyword that shows up there, right? Yep. Yeah, it looks like this one's going to take a little while to start actually gathering the results. SEO agency looks like you guys have results for already, and you can dig in and actually see what's there.
Yep. And the first page there, if you click back on keywords, it'll actually start tracking. As you can see, it'll start tracking your rank on these just above where you're at. It color codes whether you're in the top 3 or the 4 through 10. And so over time, this becomes a really meaningful report because it starts to show you how you're ranking for these keywords.
Got it.
So
that's great.
Looks like we got Justin. Thank you, Justin, in there answering questions for everybody. That's helpful. That's really nice. And then the only one we didn't touch is Core Web Vitals, but we have no data on that. But Core Web Vitals is really important, and you guys are already doing really great work there.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that we're already seeing with customers who started using Woo is that the Core Web Vitals shows pretty solid. Duda does well with Core Web Vitals, but frequently we see that Lighthouse does not give the same results that you get from real world performance. Most of the time, real world performance is a lot better, and WooRank is actually able to kind of surface that with this data and show that the real world results, are not as bad as like the Google Lighthouse results, put it out to be. So we find that really interesting within Duda.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they don't have the real field data, all they can use is lab data, right? Which is not really your data. So, but yeah, no, the Core Web Vitals is interesting because it really is about the experience itself, right? It's about how is somebody actually interacting with your website, and that's why we, like I said, we had to build a whole new section for this, because it's an entirely different way to analyze a web page than, you know, just looking at it against a set of attributes. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that continues to evolve too, right? Like soon, you know, CLS is probably, or sorry, FID is probably going to be replaced with a new metric called INP, Interaction Next Paint. This is something that Google's kind of testing now and is out there in the wild. And it's just kind of the next evolution of that FID of what is the experience once somebody clicks on something on the website? How long does it take for the website to show a result and show, you know, some type of interaction that's there? So even Google is continuing to evolve these core web vitals, and you know we'll have to make sure we stay up to date with that.
yeah.
So Jeremy, why don't we switch back to your presentation and kind of go over just a few of kind of the use cases that, you know, we showed here, and kind of what we see as how agencies are leveraging this today.
Yeah, perfect. So just to recap, we saw two things, right? We saw what we call the pre-live web page scanning tool, which was when Russ just was in the editor, popped open WooRank, and then we actually saw the whole app, right? Which is more of an ongoing SEO monitoring, right? So I think that was a great overview. And again, thank you to Justin in there answering questions for us in the chat. But yeah, the really fun part is for the last couple of weeks after we went live, we've been now working with agencies on, you know, how are you engaging with WooRank, and how are you bringing it into your organization? And we've seen three major buckets that we kind of wanted to share with everybody here, right? The first is as an SEO optimization tool, right? We mentioned just getting in there and making sure the web pages you're building, either your existing ones, and we've seen a lot of this. We've seen agencies go in, run reports, and say, "Oh my gosh, that's the WooRank number I'm running. You know, I need to start applying this to all my sites and getting them fixed." And they're pretty excited about that. They're pretty excited because I've seen in the chat here, you know, products like Semrush, and I just hear it over and over, and I've used it myself. You know, a Semrush is just so overwhelming. It's an incredibly overwhelming tool, and a lot of the recommendations are tough to run with. Whereas in WooRank, it's very actionable. And we've literally seen. I mean, we saw Nat at Olive and Ash literally within a week jump a WooRank score, I think 10 points, you know, just by getting in there and saying to his team, "Hey, I need this WooRank score higher." And his team went in and made all the changes, and we watched the graph and we watched the score go up. So that was really great. So this tool just really helps you streamline, you know, getting pages live that are optimized. So that's one way we've seen agencies is they're applying it to each website as they go. I guess we'd call that kind of the opt-in model, you know. It's like, hey, we really think you could use this tool, and it's now built right into Duda. Do you want it? Yes. Agency puts it on that website. The second model we've seen is kind of that when we were in the full app, right? You know, now we're kind of talking ongoing. We want this thing, you know, here for a while because we're very focused on organic search, and we need a tool like this. And we've even seen agencies say, you know, we're actually just we're gonna adopt this across everybody, and somebody would have to opt out of it, not into it, to start using it, because we think it's too important to not have on a website. You know, it's critical that we have this on there. Not to mention things change constantly, so you don't want to just run a report and then come back to SEO 6 months later. You know, you want it on there every month, and you want this, you know, you want WooRank constantly monitoring your website, you know, to make sure something doesn't go wrong, because either algorithms change or content changes on your site, right? And either one of those, you could come in and see your number drop and say, what just happened, and get in there and fix it. Just so more of an ongoing thing. And then we have had some conversations with agencies who said, this is great. It's simple. I love it. We actually have some really complex tools right now. And to be honest, I think we'd be better downsizing some of those and just adopting this, because again, it's right inside the software and it's really easy to use. So we've seen some of that. And then I will plug, I don't have a timeline yet, but we do have an API, and we're working on an API access to our data. So basically everything you saw there, right, is inside of Duda, running scans and things like that. We have had some conversations with agencies who said, this is all great, but we would love this data to also be in some of our tools. And we said, we're working on that, and that'll be really exciting too. So Russ, what have I missed in terms of our agency conversations we've been having?
No, I think you covered kind of the primary ones. These are what we're seeing today from how agencies are adopting it. But I think we'd be interested to also hear from the group here of what are ways that you would plan to leverage this and use this to provide just value to your customers, or even just internally using it to save time. I think we'd be really interested to hear kind of those use cases. One question I wanted to answer, and Justin's in there answering questions already at a fast and furious pace. But yeah. Speak UK was asking, does the software track page positions for keyword searches on live websites, kind of similar to reports from SpyFu or Semrush or that type of thing?
Where is that? Yeah, if you want, as we start answering questions, let's go back into the software itself.
Sure.
If we could do that.
Yeah, I can.
So yeah, we're tracking keyword position for sure, and let's see if actually if I can at least show you the column header for that. Yeah, so there'll be so the column header isn't even there yet, but the column header will be there on position. We are definitely. It's just so unfortunately you just don't see that data because we literally just added these keywords. Yep. But yes, there will be a column header for position, and we are certainly tracking your position as well as competitor position on keywords, which is really helpful, to see. Here's where I'm at. And once you get 10, 20, 30, more keywords in here, the picture becomes very clear. Here's where I'm doing really well, right? And here's where I'm not, and my competition's doing well. So the picture becomes very clear, and it goes without saying, the beauty of this is you're in your website right now, right? You don't have to jump over to some other tool and then back into your website. You're already in Duda here, so all you got to do is jump over and start, adding those keywords to your website. Yeah,
and I wanted to address this because there's a question on it. This also is pulling out. This is basically looking at a Google search results page and what are the results that show. So it's pulling out specific Google kind of features or special items that Google reports on or kind of gives options for. So what's called like the local pack is often what you see is on the map or those type of things. Or people also ask is showing what are the other items. These are just Google SERP features that WooRank is also reporting on. So you kind of understand of like what people see on the search page directly.
Yeah, and that I love the people also ask, because that's where you can say, oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense. Like if I just write a web page generally about SEO, I know this is table stakes for everybody here, but but you will find nuggets in here, right? Because this is live data coming straight from the Google searches, like Russ mentioned, of what else is happening in that search, and where are you showing up and where are you not showing up.
That's right. Great. Earlier on, I'm just going to jump in and answer a few questions here. Justin answered some of these, but I feel we should answer them, on the webinar too. T asked, under permissions for the WooRank app, it says that WooRank will be able to inject code to all site pages. Can you explain exactly what that means? And I'll take this one. What that means is WooRank is just installing, when you install the app on the site, they're installing just a small little snippet of JavaScript code on the site. And so Duda, like when you say giving access, Duda saying, okay, cool, WooRank now has access to that site and can install that code on there. And this is how WooRank displays a lot of those banners and on-site review options, is just through that little JavaScript snippet there. And so, Duda's worked closely with WooRank, and this is something we trust. We wouldn't, put something in there that's going to harm. And we've also done performance testing on this, and we know that it doesn't slow down the site in any way, if that's also kind of a concern there. So, yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
UL asked this a little while ago, about 20 minutes ago. Can we use the tool to audit a potential client's current website to help make the pitch for a new Duda website?
Well, thank you for asking that. Yeah, that is definitely a key use case of using WooRank, because interestingly, you just answered a question about JavaScript on the page. That is for the back end stuff that Russ was showing in the demo. Like that was for like when you kind of saw WooRank as an overlay, if you will, in the editor and on the website. But WooRank does not need anything to go scan a website. So you can definitely go scan a website that is not a Duda site or not your site or not your customer. And you could absolutely use that to say, hey, we just ran a scan and you have a 50 or a 60, and that's not a great, that's not a great number. And here are some of the issues. And I'm running Duda sites that are, 80s and 90s. And so, I clearly I can move your site over to me and fix all those things in the process and get your score, way up.
Cool. Donna asked, are WooRank Core Web Vitals based on the same algorithms as Google's Core Web Vitals? And Jeremy, I'll take a crack at this and feel free to jump in. The short answer is yes. So the data that WooRank collects is from real world visitors. What that means is I'm using a browser, my browser goes to a website, my browser experiences these things, like what is the biggest element that loads and what's the CLS or what's shifting around on the page. And those measurements, they get sent to WooRank. They also get sent to Google, depending on kind of the browser usage there. And so the short answer is, yeah, it's the exact same data that it's based on. Now, whether Google uses it in their ranking algorithms or not is obviously not under our control or WooRank's control or Duda's control. That's on Google, whether they're going to actually use that to influence the results. But it's the exact same data.
Yeah. I mean, it's the three big ones. Russ had them up. Yeah, we're not reinventing how we're analyzing it. We're following exactly how Google analyzes it. When I said we had to recreate it, we had to recreate the reporting of the data, because Google, like we've mentioned, has to have a certain amount of searches. So we couldn't just go into your Google and pull that data out and show that to you in WooRank. We had to actually go recreate it. But it's we're tracking the same three things in the same way that Google is. And I know we've actually been told that our report is easier to understand than Google's own reporting on Core Web Vitals.
I find their reporting on Web Vitals really confusing. If you go and use the Lighthouse, or the page speed insights tests, they have the Lighthouse test. They sometimes have the origin, which is the live data. It's really not explained well. I've always found it very confusing. Yeah, and I understand it. Cool. I'm going to jump to the next question. So Terry said was first asked a question around, great, is this pricing per website or is it per account that's there? And then kind of saying, great, it's an extra $25 a month per site. Jeremy, I don't know if we actually showed the pricing, and maybe we want to quickly pull that up. But the pricing ranges from either $10 a website up to $50, depending on how many pages you want to audit, how many keywords you want to track, those type of items that's there. And I think, I think the important part, here Jeremy is showing the actual pricing of the individual items. I think the important part is, this should be combined with some SEO package and tooling that you're offering to your customers as an additional service. And so, the WooRank cost is essentially something that, you are baking into an overall service that you're providing, for your client, right? Jeremy, that's kind of how we're seeing a lot of people leverage this.
Yeah, this is a gateway, right? Fee, right?
Yeah.
To much larger packages. That was the first conversation we had when I was in Denver. Is an agency came up and said, "I've been waiting for this tool because I've always wanted to have a higher package that included some level of SEO,
Yeah.
right? But I just never had a package, that was cost effective enough, right? Because there are companies out there, charging thousands of dollars, a month for SEO packages, whereas this gives you real actionable insights to go change on the site as an agency, for as little as $10. And you can turn around and either just literally just resell that insight in that report, or actually go fix it and tie that into a higher, higher package. The other thing to note is outside of Duda, the WooRank tool is considerably more. And really any SEO software that's comparable to this is a lot more than this. So even if you have a customer that says, well, I'm already using Semrush, you could come in, mark this up, and come in far below a competitive tool outside of Duda.
And I think I'll just throw the mention out there. We also do have, if you're interested in volume pricing for, dozens or hundreds of sites, you can get in contact with Duda, and we can try and arrange that. So.
Yep. This is one off. You're in the app store and you're going to buy it for a single website. I think Justin, actually, I saw him put his email in the chat already to say, if you want to talk about volume, then definitely reach out to us and to Justin, and we can have that conversation.
Great. Cool. The next question here is from Speak UK. Does it have the ability to run white label reports for clients?
We do. There is white label reporting. I think that's still something we're only a couple weeks in here, so I think that's something we're working on. But yeah, a white label, meaning you could actually you could drop your logo at the top of that report. When we were in the live demo that Russ was doing, that's the really big report that we were on, where we had all of the categories along the right. That report with all 75 attributes eventually will be able to be exported out as a PDF.
Yep. That's great. So Terry asked this about 15 minutes ago, and he said, I saw a little on the local pack in there. What can this show or help from a local SEO perspective?
Russ, when we say local, do you think we're talking about SEO, or do you think we're talking about Google Maps, Google My Business Manager?
I think it's kind of both, right? I think the short answer here is where this could help with local SEO is if there are those really specific local keywords that you want to track, right? I use the example of dry cleaner Chicago, where I spelled Chicago wrong. And that is one local keyword that you could then go and track and report on, and you could add in additional keywords in which you wanted to track those local results for. So it can help in those ways of just tracking and understanding what's being shown in those results, and what are things that you can do to get higher in those results. So that's kind of the standard, keyword optimization. Now it doesn't, this does not plug into Google My Business or Google Business Profile or kind of the Google Maps listings directly and influence that. Right. That is a separate process.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to make that distinction. Whenever I see local search, to me, that means local SEO. So what you described initially, But I know to a lot of people that means Google Business Profile Manager. So which is totally different.
Yeah. Great. Cool. The next question here from Lux, who is asking, if we already have a WooRank subscription, how can we move over a Duda-based membership?
Oh, let's see. Yep. So yeah, so we have a process for that because we mentioned we had already been out there. So there's a couple choices there, right? We can move you over, or we can actually just fire up a Duda subscription under a different email address within your agency. I mean, whichever's easier.
Yeah. Great. Lux also asked a little bit later if we have injected, Semrush or Google Search Console or Ahrefs code, can they conflict? This is a no acceptable practice. What are our thoughts on that? I think the short answer is I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think there's going to be any conflict, right? WooRank will come in and do its own audit, which is going to be, independent of, whatever Semrush or Ahrefs or whoever does. If you put a little bit of code on there, it's not going to be a problem. I wouldn't, worry about any conflicts. I think, choose a tool and use the tool to the best of its ability is kind of how I would, position that.
Yeah, I was just thinking again, just across WooRank as a whole. I mean, we're on thousands of websites. I don't think I see any kind of support issues around that.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it. I would be very, very surprised if something like that. Yeah. Terry was kind of answering our question from a little bit earlier about how he would see using this with his customers, and he says 2 ways. One is sign up when you create a new site, use it to create a site and get it optimized. If the client won't pay for SEO, you cancel it immediately. And 2 is sign up and use it long-term if the client is willing to pay.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to do it. Because once, we had an agency say, look, all I have to do is show a client that all I got to do is show them, 1, we're tracking a score now on SEO. And you care about that score going up and down, and we're going to monitor that. 2, you can see Core Web Vitals data. 3, you can drop some keywords in there and track yourself against competitors. I think the latter part of that, where you said, maybe they'll cancel if they don't want it long term, just go in there and let them see the tool. And whatever price you gave them, if a small business doesn't want to track how they're doing long-term SEO, how their Core Web Vitals is doing, how they're tracking keyword-wise, that's. I mean, I just can't see how a small business doesn't want to track that stuff over time, especially at these price points. Because if they went out, if you go out, even to WooRank, or a Semrush, you're upwards of $100, for something like this.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. Michael asked this, could Jeremy demo scanning a live site right now?
Yeah, so I saw that one. I wasn't sure if you were gonna. I mean, we could pop back in and scan that page again.
I can. Would it work for a third-party domain, like something outside of that?
In the tool right now. Oh, is that what he was asking? Is it a different site?
Yeah.
Got it. No, in the tool right now, inside of Duda.
Yeah, it looks like it's only for the existing site.
For the existing site, yeah. So we're gonna have to think about that.
I think it's an interesting use case of, can it be a sales tool? Can it be a way that agencies get their foot in a door and get some interest of showing a report? Yeah.
Justin is saying check your Slack. Maybe he's already
check on my phone.
Justin's probably already solved this.
Let me take a look. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me 1 sec. Let me. If we want to jump on to the next question, we'll circle back to this. Yeah. Jim was saying, can you explain free for testing?
I think Justin answered that earlier. I believe this is one where he said we were in beta at that. I think maybe
Exactly.
Jim may
That's
have
right.
saw that when we were in beta.
Yep. Got it. Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look. Susan is asking, the platinum level covers only 25 pages. Will there be options for sites that have more pages than that? Jeremy, do you wanna take that?
Yeah, in fact, I even saw Justin say that. I mean, we could certainly expose, Justin was saying, a plan for more, but keep in mind, well, one, we actually did the analysis early on. We actually, just so everybody knows, Duda produced an analysis of all websites and the average number of pages. And we actually built the plans at where most Duda sites were. So that's first. So a lot of these packages should align. Second, though, in terms of 25 pages, if you think about it, if you have a page that's 100 or 200 pages, analyzing 25 of those pages is usually enough. You don't have to analyze every page of a website, I mean, especially, your contact us page, that literally just has your contact information on it. If you start analyzing pages, what you're really analyzing is types of pages, because once you analyze that page, you can very easily take the learnings from that and just apply it to another page that is very similar to that. You don't have to analyze every single page of the site.
Got it. Great. So I actually have an example here. It's using the demo account that you gave us, Jeremy. I can show what the Duda site actually looks like here with real data that's being kind of collected. So this is on the duda.co homepage. And you can see, right, data that's being tracked over time here, where Duda is, essentially at the 86 level. It looks like we need to improve a few small things on there. I can click in and obviously get that full report and dive in on exactly what's out there. And then further, if we look at the keywords tool, we can actually see data coming through and kind of aggregations of where are the things that Duda is ranking for across the board. So I look at, like website platform as an example, Duda is 13th in that list coming up here after a few, of the similar kind of website building tools that are out there. So you can see real world data and kind of what's being collected. Like white label website builder is something that we do really well for, and you can see the ranking and tracking over time here. So we don't have Core Web Vitals data because Core Web Vitals requires the tracking code to be installed on the site, not the tracking code, the WooRank kind of assistant code. So we don't have that type of information collected on the Duda site today. So, but there's an example of like real world data. Yeah.
I'm looking at some of the questions here.
Yeah, definitely. Fireside Creative is asking, could there be a full report available using your site scanner for Duda agencies where you don't have to sign up for the free plan, or like a site scanner, for Duda prospects? So yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. We're gonna have to talk about that, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's so Fireside Creative, we're taking that away as how do you prospect with WooRank for sure?
Yeah.
How do you get a different domain name in there that you're not managing yourself? Yeah, we'll take that. Think about it.
Yeah. One question I think I'm kind of curious of your experience on, Jeremy, is, if I've never really offered SEO services to my clients, where would you start that process and kind of thinking about this, right? Like maybe I do website design and I do kind of the basic of SEO. What would be kind of your first step of, great, I want to get into offering SEO services a little bit more? Do you have any guidance or advice of how people should start that?
I mean, did you could we actually, let's go back into the live demo. You can go to any of those major reports. I personally, I kind of see WooRank as you've got hosting and you got hosting plus, right? So just click on click on,
I got logged in.
right?
That's
Because if you're hosting, I'm making these numbers up, right? Just for simplicities, but I mean, if you're hosting a website, for $100 a month, and that's hosting, well, go to page views for me and go to the homepage page view right there. This is a tool, right? What would you put a value on to have this report right here, which, as you can see, is very long, and it's literally a roadmap of what to go fix for this particular web page. Would you charge, if you're charging already, for hosting, would you call it hosting plus SEO? And would you charge 125, 150, 200 a month to say to somebody, we're not just going to host your site, we're actually going to run SEO analysis against it and fix some of the items, all the low-hanging fruit on the page. To me, that's a great start, because this is literally a roadmap. Even if you don't know SEO, this tool is telling you, go fix these things. Because we are tracking what Google cares about, what other search engines care about. And we're providing you the report to say, these are the things you need to go fix, right? Because this is SEO best practice. And this is literally the roadmap to go adhere to SEO best practice. That's a great way to start. And we've talked to agencies about that. They say, look, we're not an SEO company.
Yeah.
But we have always wanted to offer this kind of service. And we've heard companies say, I'm going to charge 25 or 50 or 100 more for this service. And they've even gone in and again, they've showed, their clients the things that they'll be tracking. And the client says, yeah, I want you to track this for me. How could you not track this for me? I'm a small business who wants more people on my website. I definitely want somebody, to track, am I following best practice according to search engines like Google?
Yep. That's great. I think that's a great way to start. I mean, I think then the only thing I would add to that is, maybe taking the next step of starting to do, the keyword side of figuring out what people are searching for, trying to think a little bit about how we can rank higher for a specific keyword, maybe start to think about content creation, right? As soon as you start kind of that content creation side, that's a whole new service and a whole new kind of value proposition that's there.
Yeah, definitely. Analyzing a page and using the roadmap, using our report as a roadmap is kind of step one. You're absolutely right. I mean, progressively going in and seeing what keywords you're showing up under and what you're not, well, that turns into, like you said, content creation. So now you're, okay, are we going to charge to start taking these keywords and putting them in the website? Because we actually do a keyword analysis on the page. So it'd be very easy to go in and track the keywords you care about, and then go into your pages and look at our analysis to see, are the keywords you care about in your content. So that seems really basic, but we're all running businesses, so you forget that you want that keyword, but you actually didn't build it into your website when you built it. So yeah, definitely. I think it's really as far as you want to go. But there's definitely a couple, I think, super near-term steps you can take to just create. I call it kind of the hosting plus package, and include the SEO analysis in it.
Yeah. Speak is asking, does it have anything to track backlinks?
Yeah, we have. There's a backlink component. So we are primarily technical on-page SEO analysis. But when you get into the full report, you'll actually see that we separate out our criteria into on-page and off-page, and backlinks is under off-page SEO.
Yeah. Great. We're close on time here, so we have a few questions getting in under the wire here right at the end. T is asking, does the report show coding errors such as errors in the HTML?
Yeah, I mean, as they relate to the different aspects, right, of HTML, Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you will. Yeah, I mean, you go in and really take a look at that report, and you'll get to understand every attribute that we're tracking and coming back to you.
Yeah.
The other neat, real quick thing in there is you can actually filter the criteria by what we have deemed very hard to fix or very easy to fix. So you can just very quickly go in and filter and say, okay, I know this is a big list, but give me the ones that make the biggest impact and are easy to fix. And that's my low hanging fruit. I'm going to go fix that stuff right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's your titles, your descriptions, your alts. It's those type of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great. So Jeremy, we're running out of time here. Thank you so much for joining and kind of giving this overview. Thank you everyone for joining as well. If you guys want to go and learn more, go ahead and give it a try inside of the Duda platform. If you want to learn more, you can also reach out to us and get a demo and those type of things if you want to see. So again, Jeremy, thank you so much, and really excited to continue to evolve our partnership here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited to be partnered with you guys. We love it already. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Justin, for answering all our questions in there. Yeah. Russ, thanks for being brave enough to do a live demo too. So
let's do it. Yeah. Great, guys. Bye.
All righty. Bye.